Hello, so my name is Taylor Usage. I live in Hodgenville, Kentucky, and I'm going to school for engineering technology management. This will be my first year back to WKU. Originally, I went to WKU my freshman year and then transferred to a community college. So yeah, this will be my first year back to finish up my bachelor's. So I'm into several things, mostly, which is this my car behind me. You can't really see it yet. So I'll talk you guys through that, what I've done to it. It's been a big part of the last probably six, 5 years of my life. I spent a lot of time racing it and working on it, modifying it, and it's kind of what my business is based off of too. So I'll take you guys through both of those, but I'll turn around and show y'all. Okay, so yeah, this is my 1970 Camaro. It was actually a 1978 Camaro. I'll show you a picture of it right now. So as you can see, the 78 Camaro looks a lot different than the 1970 Camaro. This, in my opinion, in this body style shape, it looks a lot more attractive. It looks a lot more like a traditional muscle car than later on 78, which is what this car started out as. So when I got the car, it was completely rusted out. I got the car for $400. I bought it when I was a junior in high school. I just wanted something to work on, and so I started off with that. I started doing research on replacement parts, and I noticed that the 70, the split bumper year, which is what it looks like now, I noticed that the doors look similar, and this might be common sense to some people, but I noticed the doors look similar and the roof looked similar, just the front end, and the rear end was different. So when I looked at the replacement parts, I figured it looked like that I could buy the 70 front end and the 70 rear end and put those on my car to convert it. And it turned out that was correct, and I was able to do that. So I've been able to do a complete conversion on this car. And so after I did that, then I had basically a new car, essentially, because I have all new metal on it. Besides, the front subframe was in pretty good shape. I've done some work to it, but it wasn't because it was a rust or anything. The firewall was good. I mean, I've replaced that, but it wasn't because of rust. Big thing I had to replace because of rust was, I'll show you on the rear here. So on the rear of the car, the tail panel was rusted out, the quarters were rusted out, and the biggest thing was the frame was rusted out. So there was basically no frame back here at all. So I went through and cut everything out and have replaced it all with tubing. So it's all a tube. The rear of the car is tube chassis. Sorry. And when I did that, I went ahead and got rid of the leaf springs and put in a 4-link. The 4-link is something I came up with. I just bought some Heim joints and some generic coilovers to create a 4-link system, so that allows the car to handle a lot better in the rear. So a lot of things have been done. I mean, everything's been touched. All this metal's new, but something I've done is I've tucked this bumper in and removed all the bolts. There used to be bolts along here to bolt it up to it, so I've hidden those to where it bolts in from the back of the car. These tail lights are new. I actually traded that. I traded those. Dude makes those in Bowling Green. Traded them on one of my parts that I make. But if we go around to the inside of the car is a little bit more rugged, I guess you could say. The dash is all aluminum, something I hand bent with, or I say hand bent, I used a brake on it, but something I made myself to just look a little bit more like a hot rod. And I can take panels in and out. I've actually taken out the side panel right here. It's sitting right there, and that's because I was changing some of the wiring today. But yeah, I have a removable steering wheel. It's no longer automatic, which it was. Car has a cage in it now that I hand bent, I guess I used a pipe bender to do it. But back of the car, you can see there is no back seats anymore. It's because I took them out to give a little bit more room for the 4-link, and I just have some racing seats in it. So if we go around the front, I guess I can talk about the drivetrain. So the engine is no longer the 350 that came with the car. It is a 5.3 liter LS. It's out of like a 2005 Silverado. It's got a cam in it, a stage 2 cam. It's got headers. It's got a carbureted style intake. It's actually running a Sniper E5, which is so it's all computer controlled still, even though it looks like a carburetor. Gives it that classic feel, but it is actually still really dependable and runs good and is tunable. So on the transmission part, this is actually a big deal, was I was able to switch out to a ZL1 transmission. So I'm running a ZL1 transmission, which is the equivalent of a T56 Magnum. It's called a TR6060. It's a 6-speed transmission, so I have a double overdrive, so this thing cruises on the highway. So yeah, this car runs like a new car. It's still a little bit rugged. I don't have AC on it yet. It doesn't have a hood, obviously. But a bigger thing, something business related, is up on the front. So on the front of the car, this is actually my first prototype of this hexagonal design of a grill. So usually there's a square style grill, but a lot of people are modernizing these cars, as this one pretty much is, and changing stuff out. There's no grills that look, modern. Like a lot of grills use a hexagon shape. So I figured I'd make my own. So I designed this in Inventor and 3D printed it. So, and because of that, that actually led to the demand, I guess you could say, of me to make more of these. So this one won't. This front nose is custom, so this grill won't fit in any other car. But I had a bunch of other people wanting these grills, just based off of like Instagram posts and whatnot. So now I have designed a standard Camaro front grill and a RS, which I can show you guys both those here in a little bit. But yeah, so now I'm selling these this is the first kind of thing I started selling as part of my business. And now I'm moving on to other things like this light right here. So a lot of people are running these they're Jeep headlights, and they have these halos in them. They're a little bit more modern. They're brighter. They work better. So I wanted to make a light that matches it and also functions as a air intake. So as you can see here, this is a 3D printed piece underneath here that has a vacuum formed lens over it, and eventually it's going to have a piece of pipe that fits in between here and runs back to the engine, so the engine can have a cold air intake, which you can see, which is like really similar to the way the new Challengers have, to where they suck in air through the middle of the light. But yeah, those are two big things. I'm actually working on a couple other things, but I'm not sure it's worth mentioning yet, because I don't have any they're not complete yet. But I'll go and show you my 3D printing setup, the way I'm making these in those grills. So okay, so now I'm in my basement. I was going to show you guys these grills that I'm manufacturing. So we'll start off with this one right here. So I'm doing this right now all out of my basement. So this grill is 100% 3D printed, and it's printed in 2 pieces. Let me move this stuff out of here. So it's printed in 2 pieces and slides together right here with pins. Each one of these sides is taking me about 4 days to make, so it's a pretty slow process, but I have really good margins on these grills, so it pays for itself. It lets me have a little bit of extra spending money, and well, a lot of extra spending money, but yeah, I'll show you the printer setup right here. So here's one grill that's being printed. It's almost done. I just bring them over here. I got 2 printers set up. So this one's currently got a bad wire on it, so I pulled the wire out and fixing it up. So yeah, I just continuing to work on that. I have an internship actually at a Corvette plant. I'm only working part-time there though, so it kind of gives me a little bit of time to, I spend about 8 hours on this week, or maybe a little bit more if I have to. But I'm working there and then doing this, and hopefully just learning as much as I can, and coming up with different products. I would like to come up with products that I can make in other ways than 3D printing, because 3D printing is not ideal for manufacturing. I would like to switch to, I can't afford to start up on a injection molding or anything yet, but maybe I could do something with machining or laser cutting, just depends. But yeah, just trying to get started up on it. But that's what I'm into right now, is I'm making these grills here, and working on my car. So thanks for watching.